Last season, we won the double. And now suddenly, players like this want to join Aberdeen. Welcome back to the Sir Alex Ferguson Aberdeen Challenge here on Super Sammy Plays. After winning the double last season and securing Champions League football, expectations around the club have completely changed. We're attracting bigger players, competing financially at a higher level, and with another Champions League campaign ahead of us, this season feels like a real step forward. So, let's get into it. First things first today, we have drawn Nordsjælland in the Champions League draw. So that's who we're going to be playing in the qualifying rounds. So hopefully, I would imagine it should be a fairly comfortable victory after a solid season in the Champions League last year and beating the likes of Lazio and whatnot the year before. So hopefully, though, we'll get through comfortably. And we've had an offer for Kumas, and after he barely played towards the back end of last season, I probably should have ended up actually asking for more here, but I ended up just putting it up to like 750k, and we signed him on a free transfer, so it is pure profit. One of the reasons we were happy to let him go is because a player like this became available in Ryan Suki Sato, and he looks very decent for 21 years old, on a free transfer as well. Some real nice stats in there, and he can play on the wing on both sides actually, so it'll be another option. Obviously, we've already signed Bailey and we've got Cavallo and whatnot from last season, so with the likes of Keskinen as well, and potentially Moussa Diaby, there was just no real place for Luis Kumas. And yeah, I did just say Moussa Diaby. He has left the Saudis on a free transfer, so it looks like we're about to add another free transfer to the list. And what a free transfer this would be if it actually goes through. A massive increase on any wages that we've offered anyone at the club, and you'll see in a minute something I had to do due to Cullen and Auer both having a match highest earner clause. So obviously we didn't want everyone on £48,500 a week. The Sato one went through no problem, and the board are giving us an A+ for this one, and 3.5-star current ability with potential up to 4.5. Definitely feels like a real good signing. Not a huge name, but Keskinen wasn't a huge name either, and look at what he's been doing for us. So I did actually go through, and I managed to get Cullen on a new contract. So he went up to, I think, 29.5k, but we removed the match highest earner, which is obviously one of the most important things, because it's basically saved us another 20k per week. And I kind of made a mistake here. I got confused between when I saw this saying he matches the highest earner. I was like, oh no, getting confused. And it turns out the highest earner he was matching was Cullen, and I was already thinking ahead for the Diaby one, which is obviously a lot more money. So I'd already offered him a contract, which he was fine with, and then I went back and tried to renegotiate it, and I'm not entirely sure what I actually did wrong. I think because I just tried to remove the loyalty bonus because of the lack of money we've actually got in terms of transfer fee, and it didn't go very well. So that's maybe something we're going to have to look at again later on down the line. But we do end up signing DRB, and you'll see with a message just above that Auer does in fact match the highest earner again. So he has eventually gone up to that 48.5k mark. So it's done wonders for him not signing a new contract with us. You can see though, the board reaction giving us an A+ for this one, and a 4-star current ability. He certainly will add more quality for us going forward. And just a little summary of the transfers we've made so far. Obviously, Kumas going out. I think it's 750k total, including all the add-ons and whatnot. And then obviously we've got Diaby and Sato in on a free. And Kamara, we've got in on a trial just to, rather than scouting him and see how he looks. He's another option at fullback for both sides. So if he's good enough, we'll certainly be looking at signing him as well. So, first game of the episode, we have got Nordsjælland, and we're starting with Vitek, who makes his long-awaited debut after the disaster of last season. As we go 1-0 up inside the opening 19 minutes from a goal from Cullen. Diaby also starting this one, getting his assist. And unfortunately, it's not going to stick as it was offside. So, no assist for Diaby. And then Sato also starting the game. Slips it through to Renato Sanchez, and he shoots into the back of the net to give us a 1-goal lead as we go in at half-time, 1-0 up. Second half, though, Nordsjælland on the attack. Kappenberger down the right gets brought down by Pujic, and we end up giving them a penalty and allowing them potentially to get back into the game. But Vitek, on his debut, makes a quality save, actually completely hold on to the ball as well. Top stuff from him. I think that's the last two penalties we've had now have actually been saved. The other one, obviously, by Charles. And then in the 91st minute, we take a very important second goal into the second round as Diaby plays it into the middle and it works its way to Leonardo, who fires home to give us a 2-0 win, ready for the away leg. Well, like I mentioned about Kamara, I did end up going actually through and giving him a contract. I think he'll certainly be an upgrade on our left-back spot. You can see 3.5-star current ability and an A+ from the board. Nothing spectacular, but you can see now worth 13.5 to 17 mil. He's certainly a decent enough player and should be an upgrade on the left-back slot or even right-back if we need to. I didn't actually realise he was another one as well that's been released from Al Hilal, so they signed him for 21 mils, which certainly suggests that he was highly rated when he moved there. We've now got the away leg, and this one, pretty boring game, I must say. You'll see this first highlight in the 52nd minute. Certainly shows what a boring first half it was, as this is the closest we've seen anybody go, as the shot goes wide of the post. And we get our first chance ourselves in the 55th. Mitchell Frame down the left. He's that current left back. He finds Sato, Cullen, and to Leonardo, whose shot is deflected wide of the post. And then this absolute clanger from Liverland. Tries to give it back to Vitek. Intercepted by Jeppe. And Nordsjælland go 1-0 up and are back within one goal of levelling the tie. Sanchez gives the ball away in the 86th, and they go looking for an equaliser with Kappenberger, and his long-range effort thankfully goes over the crossbar, and that is as close as they got to come to equalising and levelling the game, and we go through to the next qualifying round of the Champions League. And that next round in the Champions League is going to be against Feyenoord, so that'll be a pretty tough test. And on to our first league match of the season. We are at home against Motherwell. And we start off very nicely indeed as Auer gets pushed over, giving us a penalty right on the stroke of half-time. The referee gives us a review, but I mean, it was quite obvious. It was a blatant push in the back, and Auer steps up and shoots and sends the keeper the wrong way to give us a 1-goal lead at the half-time. Things got even easier for us after 64 minutes as our new youngster, Wernblad, gets absolutely two-footed by Neufville. Now, I think he's actually a new signing for Motherwell as well, and he gets a straight red card, meaning we're going to be playing the last 25 minutes against 10 men. Unfortunately, Diaby couldn't make anything stick from the free kick from that challenge. And then Wernblad finding Lazatic in the 81st to make it 2-0. And give us the 3 points, starting off the season perfectly. I then decided to try and move Demiral on. He's not really been anything special, and being 30 years old, signing him on a free transfer, I thought it would be wise, basically, to try and get some money for him, as we'd already got Pujic, we'd got Litherland, both as the main two centre-backs, and this guy was on like nearly 20k a week or something, and I just thought we basically signed a load of centre backs because we were playing with a back three, and we very quickly changed to a back four again. So we don't need all the centre backs. So while there was interest, I thought it would make sense to get rid of him, and we had a few offers come through. I did try and actually get some more money. I went through and rejected all of the rubbish loan offers and accepted the St Etienne one, rejected the other two, and did offer out again for a little bit more money to see if anybody would come in with a bid of 6 million, but it's just going to be the 5.5 as nobody else wanted to actually match that bid. So now I had a little bit of an issue here where we played Feyenoord in the first qualifying leg, and I'm not really going to show you much of the actual game. We scored to make it 1-0 with a goal from Auer before Feyenoord went on to equalise. in the 77th minute with a chance coming from a corner. You're probably thinking, what is he talking about? Well, at the end of the game, as I went to go through to the next screen, this popped up and the game crashed. So I ended up reloading the save and I ended up simming this one a couple of times to just try and get the same result. I didn't want us to get a more of an advantage. I was just happy as long as we got the same result. And I think it only took 2 attempts as I simmed this one. So a bit of a pain in the butt there, but I mean, at the end of the day, we still get the same result and we still go to the second leg needing the same result. And then you'll see we did get rid of Demiral. He went for 5.5 million, so that was a nice little increase. That's obviously more money than we even got given as a transfer budget this season. So there's that, and it does also release 20k per week in terms of wages, so we can certainly look at potentially bringing in somebody else as well. Back to the Premiership though, we've got Kilmarnock up next, and this one doesn't start so well as Humphreys in the 11th minute squares it to Dave Watson and puts Killy 1-0 up, giving them probably quite a surprise start. But we didn't want it to be for long as we go looking for an equaliser almost instantly. Unfortunately, nothing going to come from this one as Jimenez shoots from range just over the crossbar. And then we go close again in the 23rd minute as the ball comes out to the left with Diaby. He goes past his man, cuts back, gives it to Kamara, and he shoots on his right foot. And unfortunately, I'm not sure if that was the post or the crossbar, but he hits the woodwork. And eventually we do get the equaliser in the 24th as Jimenez sends one over the top to Aouar, and the first time finish from him, levelling the game up. And I'd probably say pretty well deserved. We have to wait until the 55th minute though for another goal, and it's going to be from Fulham this time as Renato Sanchez finds him. He turns back to the edge of the box. Kamara passes it to Aouar with a first time finish from Renato Sanchez and a goal and an assist for Aouar. We are cooking now in this one after a poor start. And then right at the end, you know, that man Keskinen didn't want to go this game without getting involved somehow. And Kamara involved again. Down the left, plays it in behind to Keskinen. Gets it back again. After a little slip ball through to Redondo. Redondo finds Keskinen, who shoots to the near post and makes it 3-1 to give us a comfortable 3 points. And you can see we actually had 25 shots in that one, so we certainly did our fair share of attacking. Next up, though, we had the all-important second leg against Feyenoord in the Champions League qualifiers, and I did not expect this one to go quite so well. As in the 6th minute, Keskinen down the left-hand side goes past his man, goes all the way and shoots past the keeper, giving us a 1-goal lead. Feyenoord go looking for an attack of their own and we steal it back from them, and then Leonardo pulls it across to Cullen to tap home into an open goal to make it 2 in the 28th. We go in at half-time with a 2-goal lead, 7 shots for us, but 2 of theirs. So, yeah, we certainly started off pretty well in this one. And then Diaby in the 67th, going down the right, comes back to Ralston, Aouar into Diaby, and he bends it under the keeper to wrap it up, giving us a 3-goal lead. And that is how the game finished as we go through to the next round with a 4-1 aggregate win. Leonardo is the one getting all the credits, which is quite funny considering he didn't actually score any of the goals, but good to see because he was pretty average last season and we were certainly expecting a much better season from him this year. And then to finish off the episode, we had a League Cup tie against Hibs, and I made quite a few changes in this one with Charles, Williams, Mill, Nosta, Frame, Frank Pelage, Redondo and Vernblad all getting a start. Liam Bailey in there as well alongside Sato and Lazatic. So still a pretty solid team. And unfortunately, they must have been seriously lacking sharpness because I'm not entirely sure what went on here. As you'll see Jensen, our old fullback, playing it through to Yor, and Yor gives it him back, pulls it across to the far post, and Sanusi shoots and gives Hibs a 1-goal lead inside the opening 2 minutes of the game. We do actually pull it back though, and right on the stroke of half-time, Leon Bailey gets the ball back, and Lazatic plays it into Redondo, and a lovely little ball back to Lazatic, who shoots to the near post, giving us the equaliser, sending us in at half-time at 1-1. But we couldn't build on that in the second half, and in the 77th minute, Robbie Ure down the right-hand side sends it back to his centre-back. I've no idea why he's done that, and Perez plays it into the middle. McGrath with a great through ball to Elding, who fires past the goalkeeper, Charles, to give Hibs a surprise 2-1 victory in the League Cup. So it looks like we're not going to be going back-to-back-to-back League Cup winners. It's fine, we'll just let somebody else have a go this year, shall we? So, after a really strong start to the season, suddenly this team is looking much stronger than it was just a few months ago. BRB already looks like a massive signing, and we're just one round away now from the Champions League phase. And honestly, it feels like we're operating at a completely different level now. But that's going to do it for today's episode of the Sir Alex Ferguson Aberdeen Challenge. Do me a favour, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.